It's a Farlands or Bust live stream, live on Twitch. We've once again forgotten about YouTube. But the last time we were here was for the episode, that previous episode that I don't remember the number of. But as you can see, I recorded it on the 22nd at 4 o'clock p.m. And we left off at 44,739 megabytes for the world save file size. And we're just going to continue on in our traditional Farlands or Bust live stream way that we do. That we do. Uh-oh. My backup server has an orange light. That means it's running out of space. My little network attached storage device. It's fine. All right, who's ready? Who's awake and ready? I know I'm not. Get your woofs ready. Woof! Wolfie's awake and ready. Full of pith and vinegar. Let's leave that episode's hidey hole. That guy's having a day. That guy's oh, he's gone. And he's gone. Let's secure the hidey hole. Grab Wolfie. Get rid of some stuff we don't need. And continue west. Sure, why not? West is a good direction, I suppose. Here in Minecraft Beta 173. Do I need wool? Probably. Everybody, Shasto, everybody misses the 173 or even just the beta pre 1.8 terrain generation. Nostalgia, simplicity. What feels like true randomness and procedural generation. That's where it's at. Speaking of nostalgia, remember Patreon? I should have talked about this in the episode, but hopefully my patrons watch the stream, or at least we'll get the TLDR on it. I talked previously about Patreon and how we have a Minecraft server. What? But it's long been unused, underused, and I'm still paying not insignificant amounts to keep that server running, and we've fallen well beneath, and this is not about that, we've fallen well beneath the threshold on Patreon. You know, remember Patreon had like, reach this level and I'll start streaming, was one of them. Reach this level and I'll do vlogs. I'll open a vlog channel. You know, one of them was we'll do a Minecraft server. We've long fallen well below that. Arguably the patrons pay for the server, no? No. That's what I'm getting at. It's not at that level anymore. But also, even if they were paying for it, nobody's using it. The last time somebody logged on was like October. Not October. What was I saying? July or something like that. I don't know. Since then, I haven't logged on to see if anybody's like, now that I've reminded everybody about it, if anybody's logged on. But anyway, the term of the current careful. What did you even do? Renewal is up at the end of the month, on December 1st. At the beginning of this month, I'm like, wouldn't it be neat if we found a way to make the map the Farlands? And just for like the last month, we played in the Farlands. It would be neat, but it's also apparently impossible. That's apparently an impossible thing to do, is to generate or even find a pre-generated world that exists, like even just like 1,000 by 1,000 blocks in the Farlands. There's old Spigot mods that apparently do it, but not well, and they're difficult to configure, and they ruin the server, and they don't fix the thing with falling sand. So that never happened. And that's fine. I mean, that's on me because I'm not somebody... I have the server, and I'm not somebody who has the knowledge, the time, or even the interest in figuring out those things and setting them up. So that's fine. So I figure... maybe we'll do it today. I figure we'll log on one more time. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow or next week. Running out of time. Log on to the Patreon server. I should probably, honestly, I should make a Patreon post and say, hey, I'm going to log on the server on Monday or whatever for a final tour and bid farewell. And then we will bid farewell. I was also thinking, you know what? If the Farlands server thing doesn't work, what if I got a copy of the Season 4 Mindcrack server and uploaded that on there, and we can all just tool around what was the last final good Mindcrack server with the unfinished Fermilab Wilson Hall and all the other stuff that was on that server that got deleted. I think that does exist. And again, it's on me for not, like, pinging the Mindcrack people, because I'm pretty sure it existed for the Play Mindcrack server when that existed. There were, like, the archives, the museum servers that you could check out and join. Well, look at this. Would you look at this? Majestic. This is like a... Hold on, I'm a little bit concerned. This is like a 404 challenge beach. Especially with this bit right here. Oh, it be. Oh. I think it has collapsed all that it can collapse, because the water updated it. Yeah, no, I think we're... Okay. I think we're safe. Famous last words. But again, did I just see something fall off that cliff? I think I did. Like a pig or a sheep or something. But again, we've kind of run out of time for that too. So yeah, I think we'll do a tour of the Minecraft? No, the Minecraft server. The Farlander Minecraft server. I did make a backup at the beginning of this month when I was considering trying to figure out how to do a Farlands thing. So I'll figure out a way to zip that up and make it available if anybody wants it on the Patreon. Server. Because this is like the second or third like Patreon server we've had. It's been reset. Because there isn't even the dangly dangle house, upside dangle house on this one. That was the first one. And then I think there was another one. And then there's this one. This one has the right side dangle house. Where I built the upside dangle house, but right side up on a beach near spawn, I remember. It's kind of difficult to maintain a Minecraft. I keep saying Minecraft. A Minecraft, like, multiplayer server as somebody who doesn't like to build in Minecraft. That seems to really be the only reason to have a Minecraft server in multiplayer. Hard to maintain a server for any game in general, mainly costs. Yeah, I mean this one. It was Xavier Penguin, right? Who kind of took over the administrative modding duties, which was very, very helpful for a long time. But they're not as available anymore, and that's fine. Just because, like I said, I lack the technical know-how and the patience to like really get into the nitty-gritty of figuring that stuff out myself, upgrading it and plugins and spigots and right. I mean, like, a lot of people on the patron server are like to build, and they're very good builders. But if it's a Minecraft server based around the Patreon of one KurtJMac, and KurtJMac is never there, then who cares? Sort of thing. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I think it's the end of an era. I honestly don't think we're going to lose any more patrons because the server isn't there. Those few who do remain, and I appreciate it, are there because they forgot. Some of them maybe, but they're there because they know that Patreon is probably the best bang for buck as far as supporting me and continuing to allow me to do these things as a little bit of the other 50% income that doesn't come from Twitch, or definitely doesn't come from YouTube or anywhere else. Clearly we need a server for a game you'd enjoy hanging out. I mean, I don't know that any game like that exists. I mean, we could have a Wreckfest server, but Cone has a Wreckfest server, and that's the one I play Wreckfest on. And anybody who's here who plays Wreckfest is also a fan of Cone's and would play on Cone's Wreckfest server. And as we found out with that, we got like a free server. We got like the Astroneer. We had the Astroneer server for a while. But they also supplied a Wreckfest server, and it did not run well. Wreckfest is a very resource-intensive server game. So yeah, I've canceled the renewing billing for that server service. So it will be going away at the end of the month. Just as an FYI, I do have a download. Maybe I should make one more, since I only got it at the beginning of the month. Not that I think anybody's done anything drastic in the last 4 weeks. That merits saving. Oh, hold on a minute. We have a development. We have a cat on the hummingbird cam. Whoop, there he goes. The only like multiplayer games that we do like are only like SnowRunner, but it's like you can only self-host like 4 people, or what else is there? Like Construction Simulator, or Dad Jesus, Uncle Jesus, whatever his name is, Simulator. The Ranch Simulator, that one. Yeah, they don't merit having full dedicated servers. Oop. But yeah, I mean, I was just talking to my dad, and he was, every time we talk, he ends up asking, how do you actually make money? But he was asking about like Patreon, and like, why would anybody subscribe to Patreon if they don't get anything out of it? And I'm like, haha, that is the question. But people who do Patreon do it because the thing they get out of it is me continuing to make stuff. In the past, that was easier because there was no Twitch subscriber, there was no YouTube subscriber sort of thing. So the only place to, like, on a monthly basis, support a YouTuber or streamer or whatever was through Patreon. And then through that, I could give away mugs or stickers or postcards and server access and stuff like that. But now it's hard to sell that as a purely, it's very, as much as people say, what's the best way to support you? And like how much, if I give you $5, where will the most get to you? Well, it's Patreon, but you're not getting anything out of it. Psychologically. Like you're getting the same thing as if you were paying $0. As opposed to here on Twitch, you're getting emotes. You're getting your little badges. You're getting Discord access. You're getting the discounts on the Stream Elements store. I guess we figured out yesterday. You're getting no ads. You're getting access to the VODs. I mean, if there were, obviously this is never going to happen, but if there was a way to, like, integrate Patreon with Twitch, you're getting Discord on Patreon as well. True, but since there's no community on Patreon, what's the point? Yeah, I mean, yeah. What was I saying? I got distracted. So yeah, it's harder to sell, even if, like, on the surface somebody says I want to support you and get the most money to you to support what you do. They're not going to stick around if they are not also getting something out of it. The vast majority. True, there are those who, like Delta Whiskey, don't want to give more money to Twitch. So they subscribe at the lowest amount and then give what they feel they can give beyond that elsewhere. But that takes effort, and people want things easy and simple and one button. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I feel like Patreon has definitely not adapted well for the video game YouTuber streamer. Maybe it has for, like, other creators, like video essayists or bloggers or photographers or models, or even video game makers. People are making video games and funding it through Patreon and then offering, like, early access to patrons to the early betas or extra content. And that seems to work really well. But especially when my content is free, otherwise, there's no additional value for somebody new. Like I said, for the people who are there, the people who are there, I recognize them all by name because they've been there pretty much the entire time, since the beginning of Patreon, when it was a novel and new thing, when I was one of the first 100 people or whatever I was to sign up for Patreon as a creator. Those people are there because they see that value of it, or they forgot to unsubscribe. That is also the case, particularly when I send out postcards, and then they're like, "Oh crap, that's right, unsubscribe." I suppose if I pushed it more, if I did make exclusive content for Patreon specifically, maybe that would push people to it. Maybe it wouldn't. Either way, I don't think it would be worth the investment in my own efforts. That would then take away from what is already my very limited resources and mental space to do streaming on Twitch and maintaining YouTube and all that stuff. Are you still sending out postcards? I'm planning on it. I would like to. It's one of those things, like I got an email from the place I order the postcards, and they're like, the Black Friday sale. And I'm like, oh, crap. I would like to take advantage of that, but I don't have a postcard design. Ah, beans. You know what I wanted to do? I wanted to make a postcard for the floating block of ice stream. But I only have like screen grabs. I don't think I ever took a picture of, like a high quality picture of the floating block of ice. I wanted to make a floating block of ice postcard and be like, I was there at the 14-hour, 28-minute floating block of ice stream. 2021. Right, Patreon leverage. That's a good term. I don't have any Patreon leverage. I was thinking of just doing like another Juno postcard. I've gotten some good pictures lately of Juno out and about, oot and a boot. But it'll just have to be a surprise. I mean, the only idea I had, which honestly this even just might be against the terms of service. Is this a spawner? No, I don't think it's a spawner. Would be like, oh, if you're on my Patreon at $10 a month or whatever, I'll include a Twitch subscription. For free. And then I just like gift sub that subscription to that person. But then that would require me to keep a running list of patrons, their Twitch account names, and then having to manually subscribe them to Twitch. Right, that'll cost me $5 out of the 10, but remember, Patreon gives me like 90%, as opposed to Twitch giving me 70% of that. So, that's what I... Profit margins! Line goes up. Graphs, PowerPoints, business. That's what I would have to look at like the terms, but it's probably against Twitch's terms of service to sell, essentially resell their monetization. Elsewhere. I mean, that seems like it would be cutting out the middleman. You're not reselling, you're gifting. That's what I mean. I could probably get away with it for a while. I just have a lot of friends that I wish to gift a sub to. But I feel like the only thing that would do is it would make me lose subs on Twitch from the people who are already, say, giving $10 a month on Patreon and subscribe to Twitch, they'll be like, okay, I'll take that deal. And then I just essentially start paying for their Twitch subscription that they've already had. That's what I feel like would probably happen. Yeah, I don't think there's any magic or tricks to this. I don't think... Mox! Remember Busto Radio? I remember text-to-speech, but apparently that alert didn't. I do, and now that is illegal. That's highly not allowed on Twitch anymore. That was a nice little chunk of change that made up for some lackings back in the day. I spent way too much on Buster Radio. You spent just enough, Pallet Hands. Remember? That was to help old Kurt J. Mac out. That funded the move from Phoenix to Seattle. Probably. I don't know. I don't like divvy up my funds like that. Look at all these skeletons in the party back there. In the party back there. In the party back there. You can separate the audio from the VOD, but it still doesn't. It doesn't. You're still not allowed to stream, regardless of whether or not it shows up in the VOD. Copywritten works. There is soundtrack by Twitch. I don't think there is anymore. I think they shut that down. But also people were getting DMCAs when using stuff found on soundtrack. That stuff never works. Same thing with the YouTube audio library. Suddenly a song or content is removed from the audio library, but you've already made a video on it and it will get claimed. The stuttering is strong, but it's been the same for the last year or so, about well, exactly a quarter block off. So yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to turn this stream into talking about that junk again. That old chestnut. That old pecan pie. Hello, Wolfie. What else is new? What else is new, everybody? We're on day 2 of Thanksgiving leftovers. How's the truck after the brake job? It's the same. I mean, it works. I didn't ruin the brake job. I didn't fail at that. But the parking brake still does not hold the truck. I still have to do the other axle, just to make it equivalent with the new brake shoes. But Yeah, I don't know. And then I need to restring the handle lever cable, because I did that all, not wrong, but just kind of hastily. Should have been 50% better. It's not. It's not. I don't know what the issue is. Don't know what the issue is. Kind of the, well, it's not the least of my issues. I'm working around it, but it is kind of annoying when I leave and come back home. I have to get out to open and close the gate, and we live on a hill, so it's like I do have to find like a place that's flat to park while I can get out and open or close the gate. I do need to figure out the windshield. I did leave it uncovered yesterday when it was raining, and it did leak inside. Not as much as the guy made it sound like it leaked, but there was water inside on the floor. I can't figure out where it's coming from. The windshield is the first guess, but I'm also slightly worried it might be from the sunroof. Or like one of the sunroof drains is clogged. I gotta figure out how to access those. And then it needs an exhaust. But then beyond that, those are like the main three things to do with the truck. I would like to find floor mats, but specific ones for a 1993 Nissan pickup don't exist anymore. It seems like the only ones I can find are like the universal cut to fit ones. Which is kind of icky. So I'd like to find some like all-weather rubberized floor mats. We built hidey hole. But yeah, the brakes didn't fix the problem. Wolfie! We shall see about that. If I can't like figure it out, I'll have to bring it to somewhere. Because that was the initial idea with the truck. Was like, oh, I got such a deal on the truck. Any problems it does have, I'll just take it somewhere and save myself the pain and struggle that you all saw during the brake job live stream. But that didn't come to pass. Famous lines by Gandalf. Y'all in chat are still trying to get Busto Radio to work. It will never work. It will never work. Just let it die. Nostalgia. It's like Kerbal Space Program. Enjoy the past as a fond memory. ZK just spent 6 hours changing spark plugs. Oh. On the Roadmaster? I mean, that's some. I mean, need is a strong word, but the Subaru, the Crosstrek, like part of the 60,000 mile maintenance is one of them is spark plugs and coolant flush and brake flush and stuff like that. That I'm definitely going to take to somewhere. That's not, that Subaru spark plugs are not something I'm about to try. I don't even know what the truck is like. I mean, they're pretty accessible. The right-hand bank of cylinders is kind of hidden under the intake and everything. They only replaced half the wires. I mean, that's something I did early on with the Datsun, is I replaced all the spark plugs in the wires. Or generally, it's something I do pretty much. I didn't do it on the SVX. I didn't do much on the SVX. I just did the radiator and was like, well, that's it. Gotta sell this thing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Have a seat, Wolfie. It's hot. Liquid hot. It's melting the ice. Neat. Boing. That's the only thing I would want. Whoa. This is a geologically active area. I would want to do with the truck is, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the front grill headlight area got smashed in. And they like beat it back out, but that means like the front right headlight and turn signal aren't like actually mounted correctly. They're kind of just being held in by the tape, the factory Nissan factory OEM tape. Oh, that was weird. I was like, what is this in the sky? Well, I could probably cheese it and just get like longer bolts or screws or whatever. Or otherwise, like if I wanted to do it pristine, I would need a new front radiator support. But I don't know if it's the weld-in type or if it's bolted in, and that's a bit of a bigger job. Just to make everything mount up better and flush and solid. It's like the front right headlight isn't aimed right either, just because it's in there all crooked. It's crooked. Yeah, I'm very meh about there. Just get some hammers. Well, that's what it seemed like they did when I took a look underneath the fender and at that, is that they just bashed a hammer to what was there and called it a day. It's a truck. That's what you do. Yeah, I mean, the only annoying thing about it is that the headlight isn't aimed right, which is why I think just like getting longer screws and just using like spacers or something might be the way to get that on there right. Also, I might need your part number expertise. Looking at the sunroof, I need like the outer rubber seal. I think I found it. I'll have to post it in the RAM when parked. I think I found the part number. But like the outer rubber is all cracked and apart. I mean, Cone might have... Cone might have it. He says he's got a whole bunch of those. The same Nissan sunroof parts and bits and bobs and things. It's the same one that's on the 240. You work at a Nissan dealer, but do they have access to the parts catalog of 1993 vehicles? I mean, honestly, probably, but not the parts themselves. Well, in that case, how about the handbrake? The floor-mounted handbrake handle and cable assembly from a 1993 Nissan D21 SE V6 4x4. This is the handle motion. The floor-mounted handle, not the underdash handle. Boing. Part numbers. They haunt me. Indeed. Well, I mean, I already talked about... Did I? Did I not? I talked about that yesterday during, like, the SnowRunner stream. About, like, Thanksgiving. Didn't I? That wasn't during the Farlands Bust episode. That was, like, the pre-Thanksgiving episode. But yeah. The pecan pie was a hit. If not still, I believe, slightly overdone. Surprise hit, having myself never eaten a pecan pie and the girlfriend claiming to have not actually liked pecan pie. Turned out good. And the girlfriend's glazed carrots were also a hit. The gluten-free stuffing was also quite good. The girlfriend ate the pie. Of course she's going to try it. I think what it would have been not good without the orange. I can't remember who, either in my Discord or here in chat, said find a recipe that uses orange. But thank you, fine individual, for that advice. I did. And the orange zest really zested it up. If anything, I think I put too much zest in there, but it's really helps give some variety to what otherwise is simply sugar, nut. It's like that's the flavor. They call me sugar nuts. The savory pie we made was not our best. We've had good luck in the past making, like, chicken pot pie, savory pies. But this one, I don't know, I think we were both distracted by everything else we were doing. And we decided, we say this every year, but we decided next Thanksgiving, scale it back a bit. Maybe only one main dish instead of a chicken pot pie and turkey legs on the grill. Because also at the end of Thanksgiving dinner, we were both very, very, very bulbous. We were very, very full. Wolfie, get over here. I need to feed you. Oop, I did it. Oh, I need wood. But yeah, the girlfriend wasn't impressed with her mashed potatoes. They were fine. They were a gravy delivery system. I feel like the turkey legs were fine. But they weren't... I don't know, there's some... Just, everything was just fine. I mean, except for the pecan pie was a surprise winner, and the glazed carrots. I mean, she used Yukon gold potatoes, because I guess that's what everybody kept saying to use. And she thinks that's why the potatoes came out kind of bland. Ah, spoilers. Well, don't. What I'm saying is, don't listen to the internet when you're picking out your potatoes. Is this a spawner? You're dang right it is. Wolfie, have a seat. We're busy now. We've got a job. Oh, hello, sir. No touchies. Got him. Okay, how do I stop this without... Oh, just like that. Alright. Problem solved. Alright, what do you think we got? A decent amount of iron. Some spooky noises. Oh, and not enough gunpowder. That's a shame. One too few. I will take that iron, and I will continue on my journey. The correct direction. Not east, but west. Oop, that's not how you do it. Indeed. So that was Thanksgiving. And that's about it. There's not really much else coming up. Not really much else at all. Sold my bumpers on the same day. Somebody contacted me about the grill that I have, but I replied and they never replied back, which happens a lot on Craigslist. Yeah, there's really not that much immediately to write home about. To write flob about. How about you? Robenja, you could put that link in the Discord, because that's just going to scroll off the page and I'm never going to remember to click it. Spelunk. So when's the next solar eclipse over America? That's 2024, right? I haven't, like, forgotten that it's 2023 and have no plans or anything, right? That's 2024, yes? Aye, Captain, it is. Okay. Alright. That's fast approaching, like faster than like I thought of it back in 2017 when we were watching the last Eclipse. Or whenever that one was, I've honestly forgotten. April the 8th, 2024. So we're all going to Cone's place, right? I could use a little bit of wool. Ooh, glad I came this way. Might be a bit of a waste of a boat, but... Welcome to Jurassic Minecraft. Got Eclipse. Will likely be cloudy. I don't know. I mean, that is going to be disappointing when that happens, because we very much lucked out in having clear skies in Oregon to watch the last one. I'll get what I get. Does it matter in that a total solar eclipse is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life? Does that not whet your appetite to go above and beyond to make it happen? I mean, obviously, if you could just, like, sit there in your own backyard, that'd be fantastic, but... Ah, careful, Wolfie! Oh, that was a big fall. I suppose I should have expected that. Annular. It's pronounced annular. Pig was dry. Pig was not. Can't go that way. Indeed. I don't know. Oh, what's new with you? I really should have had more things to talk about, I suppose. What's your view on trams as a form of transport? Trams. What's a tram? Like, how does it differ from light rail or a train? Tram. The only thing I can think of as a tram is like what they have at the zoo, which is just like a golf cart trolley train. Like, that's a tram to me. A bus on rails. Is there more than one bus connected by some sort of hitching mechanism? What about penny farthings? Light rail, essentially. I mean, our city has some that are like sharing the streets with cars. I mean, it does. It's one of those like midway, like in between solutions. That like is still subject to the car traffic that exists. Therefore, it gets very difficult to make it superior to traveling by car. If it's still subject to the same infrastructure and delays. I mean, either way, I think it should be free. I mean, they're like extending the light rail from Seattle way up north to Seattle and way down south. But I don't think that's a solution either. Like, I don't think light rail is very efficient is the wrong word, but it's not, I don't think, intended for like longer distance travel. It should be like within the city, intra-city as opposed to extra-city travel. But then again, we Americans have been at the behest of the automotive industry as far as the priorities of infrastructure and travel are concerned. So yeah, I don't know how that's going to solve anything. Indeed. Solving this is so old-fashioned. I know what they need. Tunnels. Single lane tunnels. But yeah, I mean, I am the least, maybe not the least, but I am a low hanging fruit as far as like having any sort of knowledge or suggestions or awareness of this issue. There are definitely the other sources, like YouTube channels. The Not Just Bikes is the one I see a lot of. Climate Town covered a very similar thing about the suburbs and transit and how the auto industry hijacked the public transit system of the United States and took it over and shut it down and replaced it. Are electric cars becoming a thing in your area now? Yeah, I mean, they very much have been. It's kind of surprising, I suppose, hearing from, like, my dad or even my sisters. Who are like, yeah, we're starting to see a few Teslas out here in, like, the Midwest. As opposed to, like, out here, they're not even, like, interesting to see anymore. Like, it used to be like, ooh, they're just, like, everywhere. I'm seeing a few people around the area have Rivians. I've only ever seen one of the Ionic 6s around here. I think they very much were all sent to California. Plenty of like Leafs and some of the other ones that kind of are a little bit harder to find and see because they're not really unique looking. Are rentable e-scooters? Yeah, those are a different bag. Those are not great. The city had like a trial with a couple companies and then they removed them all and then they have a contract with I don't know, Razor or something like that, and now they're all over the place. Those those are not the public transportation savior that they have sold themselves on. It's mainly it's a ride. It's a it's an amusement ride is what it is. And that's all I ever see. It's kids using them. I mean, they only I mean, I don't live or really travel through like the downtown area here, but I don't think it's like the final mile solution. I don't think there's very many people commuting and then hopping on the rentable scooter on their way home. They just really take up space on the sidewalk in their little parking areas and then end up in the Puget Sound mostly, probably. um But yeah, I only ever see kids, and then like they all, you can like really slam on the brakes and skid the rear tires, and that's all it's caused now is a bunch of tire skids everywhere on the paths and walkways. Yeah, that has also widely been like disproven. Like those companies, like Lime. Remember Lime? Does that still exist? But like, they all run on like $1 million deficits and are simply propped up by like venture capitalist funds. Is the only way that they like are in business. I did. That was a classic Farlands or Bust episode gag. I made it rotate this time too. Special effects. Segway. I made it spin. That was in the latest episode. You gotta watch the whole thing again to see it. Click on an ad maybe too. Segways are still out there. They're just too expensive. And they've been co-opted and replaced by things like electric scooters. I see a lot of electric longboards. That's something I see a lot of. One wheels. But again, those are like, those aren't transportation devices. Those are like I said, like amusement rides. Those are amusement machines. They're like a pair of roller skates. They're not. You're not gonna travel to work or to school on them. I mean, you might, I suppose, but that's not. It's mostly people driving to the park, getting their e-scooter or e-longboard out of their car, and then going for a ride. Woof, Wolfie. Have a seat. That's worrisome that it's so dark over there. I feel like the mobs might be hanging out there when we wake up in the morning. But that's a future me problem. Bloink. We did it. We very much did it. A Farlands or Bust stream. Make the beds. We're still carrying around these 5 diamonds. We don't know what to do with. Indeed. When do I get an e-scooter in Farlands or Busts? It'll smooth out the jitteriness probably, right? Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in for this November 26th, 2022 Farlands or Bust live stream. I'm gonna go to sleep. We're gonna check on the world save file again, and then we'll continue the stream after that. So let's do it. Internet enabled. 44,819 megabytes.